Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am your host, June Archer. Today, I have a special guest. So excited. We were talking backstage, and I'm telling you, this young lady is amazing. You're going to love her. She has starred in over 60 shows. I don't even know how good you have to be in 60 shows, but you got to be good. I'm talking about A Man on the Inside with Ted Danson. I'm talking about Matlock with the amazing Kathy Bates. We're talking about Narcos because that was one of my favorite shows. Pedro, Pascal, Wagner, Moura, and there's so many others. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Miss Danielle Kennedy. Danielle, how you doing?
Oh, hello, June. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here. I got to tell you something. Your smile is infectious. You're just making me smile. We haven't even started yet.
Oh, good. Well,
So
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you. You have such an illustrious career. We were talking backstage, but I want to talk about your love for the arts and where it started. How did you get caught by the bug or bit by the bug?
I think I was born with the bug because, well, first of all, I was an only child, and only children oftentimes have imaginary friends, and they like to play dress ups, and they talk to themselves very early on, and I had all those symptoms, and then when I got to be maybe 3 or 4 or 5, I hooked up with my cousin who also had the same passion, and we would put on shows. We would take sheets and throw them over tables and go under the table and then come out like we were coming out, we're doing puppets or all kinds of stuff. And so the love was always there. And then in grade school, I did some plays in the school and then really got involved at Trinity High School in River Forest, Illinois, and doing plays.
Mm. I
Yeah.
want to ask you this because we're at a time where, over the past few years, we have, and I'm saying the powers that be, not you and I specifically, taken music out of school. How imperative is it for our young people to be in a space where they can create, where they can team build, to actually express themselves, that we need to make sure that we bring this back into schools?
It's imperative, June. It's imperative. Uh, we all have that creativity in us, and music. I can't imagine not living without it because my mother and my grandmother were very musically inclined. My grandmother sang opera in Italy. She was from Naples, and my mother played piano by ear from the time she was a very little girl. So I was just exposed to so much music. Somebody asked me the other day, do you still remember certain things? I know the lyrics to almost every song that I ever grew up with. I mean, music is incredibly important. And let me take it further. It helps tremendously with your mental well-being. Children need this expression, whether it's music or acting or dance, any of the arts. This is imperative to create a safer, more mentally balanced culture and environment. We can't take this away. We have to fight for it with tooth and nail. We really do.
Yeah, and the data shows, Danielle, that our young people do best in the maths and sciences when you have creative arts. So I really hope, uh, from your lips to God's ears, that we
Yes.
find a way to make sure that we give our young people, even if it's just a little bit of art and culture in
Oh,
school, that we get back to that. I think it's important. It's definitely been a developmental tool for you. You talked about your daughter, so I know that it's something that you hold near and dear. And I hope that we continue to make sure that we push culture forward in that. When we talk about your career and what you've done, what has been the best piece of advice that you've been given as an actress that you've taken with you along your journey over the years?
I think the best piece of advice is just concentrate on the work, whether it's an audition or in this case now with the Burbs, we're hoping to get picked up for season 2. Just concentrate on creating the day-to-day episodic adventure that it was, and don't think ahead. Stay in the moment. Focusing on outcomes brings about a lot of anxiety, takes you out of the present moment. And I think that is the very best piece of advice I've ever gotten. For example, when I do an audition now, I treat it as if it's a performance, because it is a performance.
Right.
But I mean a performance like, say, at Carnegie Hall or at the local regional theater. Maybe it's on camera or maybe it's in person, but I'm going to prep for it and I'm going to do it. This is a day that I get to perform. I get to just love and just endouse myself in my passion. And then when I'm done, I will take the script, or the sides, as we call it, as auditioning actors, and I'll tear it up and I'll put it in the trash, thinking, well, that's over. So if I get a call and they tell me you booked that job, I'm happy to look those sides up again on my computer or whatever I have to do. But it's fresh, it's new. And I wasn't like, oh, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. Even though that's a great song from Chorus Line. That's the best piece of advice ever. Get rid of that anxiety. Just concentrate on what is in front of you, and that's it.
I really am excited about the answer. You mentioned love, Danielle. With all that this business throws at you, with the amount of no's that you get as opposed to yeses, what is it that makes you wake up and fall in love with it again every day? Or do you fall in love with it?
Oh, I do. I mean, some things more than others, obviously, like some people that you get to become, you love more than others. But what keeps me going? The storytelling. I love telling the story. I love stories. I've always loved stories since I was a tiny, a wee one. Yeah, that's what keeps me going. There's so many great stories to tell. There's so many parts of ourselves to explore when you're an actor. From Mother Teresa to, a villain on Wall Street or something. I don't know. I mean, there's just so much to explore. And I love that. I love that. I just love it.
You're very you are a chameleon. When I see you play these different roles, and I want to ask how it was with your peers, Kathy Bates, Ted Danson. These are some people who have been staples in our lives for some time. Like, what is it like to kind of shadow box with them and dance with them, from table reading to being on screen to after you get off camera and you just wind down? Like, what is that experience like for someone like those? I want to say icons, but they are normal people who just do such a great job at their craft.
Well, yes, but they are icons. And I have to tell you, first and foremost, and this goes way back too, I'm a fan. I am a fan. My mother took me to the movies and took me to theater. I mean, I'll never forget seeing Mary Martin as Peter Pan on Broadway when I was 16. So I have always been a fan. And to get on a movie set or a television set with the likes of a Kathy Bates or a Ted Danson or everybody that's in the Burbs too, or Pedro Pascal and Boyd Holbrook when we did Narcos. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I had to breathe because I had to remember, look, you can't just gawk at these people. They're your peers now. You're working with them. They're your partners.
Right.
And I don't want to embarrass them, but I have to tell you, I am a fan. I am a true fan. I'll
Does that
never
keep you
forget
working hard though? Does it make you work harder because you're a fan? Or
you want to be able to step up to the plate. You definitely want to step up to the plate. I was a big fan of Saturday Night Live and Jane Curtin and Gilda Radner and all those people. And I did a episode of United We Fall that's no longer on the air about 5 or 6 years ago with Jane Curtin. And I started bawling my eyes out, and she was very gracious. They introduced us at the table read, and I gave her a big hug, and she was very welcoming, which was great. And I said, "I'm sorry, but I've grown up with you, and I grew up with Gilda, and this is so momentous for me. I give me a second." And she was fabulous. And then we went and did our fun scene together. But yeah, you want to step up to the plate. I mean, I have to like Cher said, moonlighting. I have to snap out of it. I have to snap out of being a fan and step up to the plate. But oh God, I'm such a fan of these people.
That's beautiful. So now that we got the icons out the way, we're going to talk about the Burbs. We're going to talk about these young people and what that means in this part of your career. Keke Palmer, the
Oh,
Burbs. What
Keke Palmer.
Keke is a firecracker. She's a master at her craft right now. She's doing so many amazing things. What is it like working with the Keke Palmer?
Oh, it couldn't be. What a treat for this old bag. What a treat, meaning me, not her. She is a firecracker, but she is so full of love and generosity, and she's so talented. And talk about a work ethic and a multitasker. And she's from Chicago. As a matter of fact, much of that cast are Midwesterners. Julia Duffy, Minnesota, Paula Pell, Chicago, Iowa, that whole area. I'm not sure where Capel or well, Jack is a Brit, and Mark might be. I don't know if Mark's a Midwesterner or not, but oh, they're all so great. But oh my gosh, Keke is so fun. When I got to do scenes with her, she is such a blast, and we would laugh after we'd get done, because we're like this in the scene, and we would just laugh. And she loves music, and I love music, and I love to dance. I mean, how cool is it that this grandma gets to play with Keke Palmer? Yikes.
That's got to be amazing. And I know for those, they may love to hate you. I love the character. You played the head of the HOA. How do you prepare for a role like that? So because you're so abrasive, so pompous, all of these things that just rub people the wrong way because everything has to be to the letter. How do you
Yes.
prepare for a role like that? And how do you take it so seriously? Because
Well, I do. I take it seriously. Well, let's start with the writer, Celeste Huey, because she put the words in my mouth, and she is the showrunner, one of the executive producers, the creator of the show. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, even the audition that I did on self tape with my daughter was part of the HOA uh, uh, block party speech in episode 4, if you remember that. And I mean, it was a crack up. And, I've been around a lot of people like that in my life. I have. I've lived on 5 cul-de-sacs. I
lived on one. I was excited to talk about that with you. I've
Yes,
lived on one cul-de-sac ever in my
yes.
life. That's where I
I'm on
grew
a
up.
cul-de-sac now, and I'm in an area that has an HOA president. So I've been exposed to this for 40 years, and I watch them and I see how they handle things. And so I just approached it that this is a serious job. I am in charge of the safety and the protection of these people. Now, my definition of safety and my definition of what is right and wrong was created for me by Celeste, who, just did a heck of a great job writing this thing. And I just internalized those words and I believed in it. I don't have any doubt that I am not doing anything but the right thing for Ashford Place and for Hinkley Hills. I am committed to that. Nobody is going to mess with me. This is my street. I've lived there a long time. And you either march to my music or you're out.
Out of
Move
it.
somewhere else.
But not in this cul-de-sac.
Not on this cul-de-sac, baby. Ain't going to happen.
Oh,
and I'm happy to do it.
Listen, and we love that you're happy to do it. Danielle, if you could tell your younger self, that 12-year-old young lady, hey, I want you to know this about your future, what would it be?
I think I would say to my 12-year-old self, relax. You've inherited your little Italian mother's habit of being a big worrier. That I think she passed that on to me. So I worried about a lot of things. I still worry, but I don't worry as much as I used to. Just let go, stop worrying, stop projecting for the future, stop going to the past and ruminating over people, places, and things that hurt your feelings or that you did wrong or they did wrong, all that stuff. I would just say, cut that stuff out. Come on, girl, step up to the plate, get in the moment and have a little fun. You know, when you're a worrier, yeah, I love to play and I love to have fun. But boy, worry is
Block your
that's just
blessings.
ugh. That's just like it's like shooting a wet blanket on your fun. And so I would tell myself, quit worrying. Nothing you can do about it. Worry doesn't help anything.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. What would you tell? What do you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done?
I think I would like my legacy to be that I was loved and that I missed. I think, you know, our beautiful Catherine O'Hara just passed away, and so many wonderful words have been said about her. And they said she was beloved. You know, when she was working, uh, people loved her. She was a good sport. She was a hard worker. She didn't have a big ego. Her family loved her. You know, I would like to be missed. Uh, I know that's probably not going to be the case for everybody that's crossed my path. No fault of my own. I think I really have tried my best. Haven't always, you know, succeeded like anybody else in this world. I'm flawed. I made mistakes, but I'm hoping that people remember the good over the bad, and also that they take the message from me to just have fun and find your passion and pay it forward, baby. Pay it forward whenever you can.
Super important. What do you love about yourself, Miss Danielle?
I think the thing I love most about myself is when I find my little kid inside of me again, which is kind of goofy and silly. And I love being around my family. I have a big family, and my daughters and I are all really close. I see my daughters more than anybody, but I love them all. But we have a lot of fun, and we dance in the kitchen when we cook, and they're pretty amazing women. I think that they've gone beyond anything that I have internally in that they don't worry a lot about what people think about them, and they're good and they're kind and they're generous, and I like being around them because I think they bring the best out in me, and I can't take credit for that. They forge their own way. But, you know, and I have a wonderful, relationship with my son and daughter-in-law and my grandchildren, and yeah, yeah, I like family, I love family, and I think that's one of the things I love about acting, is every time you are in a play or anytime you get a show, you become a family, and I
Yes.
love that aspect of it. That I particularly love that aspect of the Burbs. We really connected. We were really there as a family, and that meant a lot of laughter.
That's a beautiful thing. I gotta say, this has been such an amazing interview. Before I let you go, music is a soundtrack to our lives.
Yes.
What song or artist embodies your journey up to this point?
Whoa, there's so many, but I will tell you at my big birthday party last year, everybody as a surprise had to learn a flash dance to my favorite song by Earth, Wind and Fire, September. And there's something about that melody. There's something about those words. Do you remember the very first time? It chokes me up.
So
It's
beautiful.
such a happy, happy sound. I love it.
And we need
But
that.
I could go on and on. I have a music library that in my head that is, but when you say what just turned you on, September, Earth, Wind and Fire.
Well, you make sure the next time you're in town in New York, you save me a dance.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the amazing Danielle Kennedy. The Burbs is on Peacock. Make sure you stream it, starring, of course, the wonderful Keke Palmer. But make sure you check out my girl, Danielle Kennedy. This is your guy, June Archer. This is the Winner Circle. Thank you so much for tuning in. Danielle, we love you. Keep doing what you're doing. And as I always say, never leave the opportunity undone to tell somebody you love them, because it might be the last opportunity you have to do so. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.
thank you.